Good morning, guys. So first of all, sorry for being late with this episode. Although I live in Spain, we've been having a lot of rain recently. And neither me nor my friends, whom I borrow cars from, we don't like them to be underwater, let's say. Anyway, so what do we have today? We have a proper classic car, Volkswagen. No, it's not Volkswagen Passat, it's something much older. Well, not that old. Today we are having Volkswagen Type 2. So, as usual, let's have a look at it from outside, then also check the interior and learn some interesting facts about this car. To tell you this bus was popular is like not telling you anything at all. This was an icon of its time, a symbol of hippie movement. People were not driving it, people were living it. Children were conceived, born and raised in this car. And talking about kids, I think you know that this bus was in the animation movie Cars, where it was presented as organic fuel brewer Filmore. I mean, how could you not love it? It's just so adorable. And if we try to compare this car to a person, it could be that crazy but very admirable uncle we all have, Uncle Bus. Also important to mention that there are a bunch of different versions of this car. Some of them are more industrial, like panel vans. Others are passenger vehicles, like Samba we are looking at today. And there were even fully equipped camper versions. Now let's look at some main design features from the outside. So first of all, you see that many of T1s were two-colored, with the top side usually being white. Front window is split. Furthermore, in this version you can open it. Now headlights in this car are more beautiful thanks to those eyebrows. And if you look at the door handles, they look pretty similar to the old refrigerator that you have in your hut in the woods, yeah? For more sleeker design, we have beautiful chrome caps, and this version that we are looking at is called Samba. That's why we have the windows on top. They are called skylight windows, and also we have a rooftop which is retractable. The trunk in this car is unlimited. You can even remove the seats and put half of your apartment furniture inside. Anyway, now let's switch back to Tom, the other me, to better understand the versions of this car.
Welcome to my garage. Now, it's not easy to introduce today's car, mainly because there is a mess with the names, there's a mess with the years produced, versions and countries. But let's try to do it. Now, first of all, you all know there was a Volkswagen Beetle, so-called Type 1. So this car was produced in Germany, and one of the first importers of this car to Netherlands once upon a time saw an improvised van at the factory, and he got an idea of making a commercial car. He quickly made a sketch, delivered it to Germans, and this is how Volkswagen's second car, hence the name Type 2, started its life. In short, it was just called T1 because of the subsequent generations of this car, up until T6, which is on sale now. So the generation that we are concentrating is T1, which was built in 1950 to 67 in Germany. But also it was built later on in Australia, Mexico, and in Brazil, even up until 2014. Imagine that, this same old car. The car was so popular that only in Germany they built almost 2 million units, not talking about other countries. And it was also the same for all the subsequent models. Each of the generations built in Germany was released in around 2 million units, more or less. Now let's dig deeper into T1 versions, which will also not be too easy. So There was of course the passenger vehicle, the bus or Bulli, and then you could have it in a variety of forms. Panel van, pickup truck, Doppelkabine, so-called Doka, Samba or Westfalia. There were also specific versions like ambulance, police or even railway draisine. I hope this short summary was interesting, and now let's switch back to the other me to see how the T1 looks inside.
Now let's inspect this extremely simplistic interior. So here we will see the driver's seat and the passenger seat, which is actually not a seat but a two-passenger sofa. Yes, actually 3 people can be seated at the front. Now steering wheel is extremely slick and sexy, I would say. And what I want to show you is that the front windshield can be opened. So this is how you open the windshield. You have those 2 interesting regulators and voila, you can fix it like that. The same way actually you can open small side windows. Like that. Now the interior, as already mentioned, is extremely simplistic. Steering wheel, speedometer by VDO, gear knob lever, Americans call it a stick, I think, handbrake handle. Here those interesting bulbs are where the front headlights are located. And this is the location of the radio, which is quite rare, that's why I'm afraid it's not here in this car. One interesting feature here on top, you can call it air conditioner. So if I put it like that, the wind will be blowing towards the rear passengers, and if I engage this like that, the wind will be blowing to the left and to the right, so for the front passenger and the driver. So now let's inspect the passenger area, and first thing you would notice that those seats are extractable, so you can easily remove them and put them front to back, because now they are like in the limo. Then here on the top we see already mentioned skylight windows, and this is the removable rooftop. I will show you how to open it. Hold on. So this is how you do it, like that, and just move the roof. Everything is simple yet so comfortable and cozy. This is how it looks from above. By the way, you can contact the owner of this car at kombipassion.com. There are more than one model to choose from, and his company also offers some fancy spare kits like rooftop or skylight windows, so you can turn your T1 into Samba like we have here. You can even order a customized version of T1 at kombipassion.com. Meanwhile, let's switch back to my garage to check the prices of T1.
Welcome back. Visiting our usual autoscout24.com, we can find around 150 units of T1, Volkswagen Type 2. And prices are quite different, and they vary from as low as 10,000–11,000 euros for unrestored or very neglected items to more than 100, 140, 170 for original, low mileage, and even with Volkswagen certificate, or items that are very well preserved. Here we can see that most common, with around 100 units, would be the usual passenger version, bus, Bulli, and the rarest or the most valuable would be Doka, Samba and Westfalia. So Doka is the double cabin van, that's why it's called Doppelkabine. Samba, the car that we are having today in our review, is popular for its universality and style. And Westfalia is also quite rare. This is a camper van. As you can see, these specific versions are quite scarce. We have only 4 Dokas and only 8 Westfalias. And for construction workers, we have 9 vans. So, should you buy yourself a T1? Well, first, this car is clearly a very important part of all the automotive history. It's a part of its DNA. Then, if you want to buy yourself one, you should be doing it without hesitation. It should be an emotional attachment because of its history, because of its design, of its style. And you will be sure that while driving it, heads will be turned and everybody will be looking at you in your T1. So this car is just cool. You have no other words for it. I even fell in love with it.
Doesn't it look gorgeous? What a car! I just love it. Anyway, as always, thank you for watching. Stay safe, subscribe, and see you in the next episode. Goodbye.